Hello everyone and welcome to this new series we're calling Timeless or Trash. I'm your host today, my name is Ben and with me is Dan.
Hello.
And we've got James.
Hi.
And finally Christian.
Hello.
So the point of this series, Timeless or Trash, we're going to be taking a look at some films that from our childhood, maybe some a little bit older films that we're quite nostalgic for, and we're going to be deciding, is it actually timeless or is it actually trash? And so for the first episode today, we're going to be taking a look at the now 30-year-old film, literally the day of recording, is 30 years old, Home Alone.
Kevin!
So guys, this film, released in 1990, it's now 30 years old. Personally, I think I've watched it, almost every year of my life, near enough. Definitely seen the sequels. I remember it being pretty great. Some iconic moments, but we'll see. Danny, what about you?
Well, what do I think of Home Alone? It's a Christmas classic, isn't it? It really is. I agree with you there, Ben. I've got a kind of an inkling it is timeless. I mean, I don't see how my opinion is going to change on that. There are certain things in there that I think, are they going to play? Will they play well for the modern audience?
Excuse me, just give us the phone. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, but thank you. What am I doing? Hello? I'll have to call you back.
The film might have aged, taking a look at it. What about you, James?
Yeah, man, I've seen this film a fair few times. Definitely started off watching it as a child, more so than now. Yeah, I've always enjoyed it from the first time I ever saw it. I was like, yeah, this is a good film. I think it's going to have aged well. I think Dan put it really well in, it's a Christmas classic. So, hopefully, it stood the test of time. But I guess that's what we're here today to find out.
Christian, what do you think? What's your relationship with the film?
I have no relationship with the film because, in
what?
the
Oh my god.
in the 24 years I've been on this planet, I have never seen it. Somehow, every Christmas, Home Alone has evaded me, and it's not really a film that I've ever sat down and watched, not even as a kid.
That's partly the reason why we're watching this film and why we're doing this series, really, is to have some of us, every time we do a film, will have seen the film, some of us will haven't, is to make the discussion a bit more interesting, because, Christian has the benefit that we don't have. He doesn't have nostalgia for the film, so you can really take a look at it from hopefully a more objective point of view. I think the three of us are kind of be a bit more, well, maybe not, be a bit more kind of nostalgia goggles will be on or not, so it'd be interesting to find out, won't it, guys?
Yeah.
You will indeed. I can't believe you've not seen Home Alone, Christian. Genuinely can't believe it.
It is a bit of a shocker.
Great.
It is a bit of a
I'm
shocker.
looking forward to your opinion. I really am.
Yeah.
Right then.
Should we take a watch?
Let's do it.
Shall I literally just press play?
Yeah.
It's the logo of the film.
Yeah, it's mad, man.
No, we're not bringing the dog. Put it in the kennel for the... Hey, get off. Kevin, out of the room.
Hang up the phone and make me, why don't you?
He's such a little shit, man.
Any chance pick up a voltage adapter thing?
No, I didn't have
He's got
time for that.
personality. I think he's about 9
Shave in France.
Grow a goatee.
in real life and in the film.
Bye.
You have anything to do? I got something.
Mate, if I'd said to my mum at age 9, why don't you get off the phone and make me,
He's in the garage again.
I wouldn't have seen the end of that day.
And here we go, here's Danny.
Who is he? You ever heard of South Bend Shovel Slam? No. That's him.
That's
Back in
just
58, murdered his whole
really,
family.
there is no need for that at all.
What is the matter with you? He started it. He ate my pizza on purpose. He knows I ate sausage and olives and
Look what
onions
you did, you little jerk.
Oh my god.
They all hate him.
I don't want a new family. I don't want any family. Families suck.
Just stay up there. I don't want to see you again for the
Merry
rest of
Christmas, kids.
I don't want to see you again for the rest
Yeah.
of my whole life.
Yeah, these
I
are
don't wanna
bad
see anybody
parents.
else either.
I hope you don't mean
I mean,
have
you
no
know,
idea.
I'd feel pretty sad if you woke up tomorrow morning.
I wasn't keen on like Kevin at first, but I've come around to his side just based on how
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
horrible his parents are.
You jerks again.
Peter! We slept in!
The design of this house, like the decorating, it's kind of gross.
It's the 90s.
It's the upper classes as well, mate. The
It's
high
just
decor.
like
Yeah, no, it's not even the 90s. It's just the 90s. Like this film will have been filmed end of the 80s.
That's true.
So.
What you did, you little jerk.
I made my family disappear.
Like, this is actually super, like, messed up when you think about it. Because at this point, he doesn't know that they've just gone on holiday without him. He thinks he's, like, wished his
Magic.
family out of his existence. And his initial reaction is, this is sick, let's jump on the bed and go crazy.
Yeah, well, they're the worst, man.
He's a psycho.
clear signs of narcissistic personality disorder. Yeah.
So many Easter eggs in this film to other episodes of Timeless for Trash we can do. We've had a Grinch cameo. I saw Michael Jordan in Buzz's room for Space Jam. It's a layered film.
It's also got a reference to Kevin McAllister from Home Alone 2.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, that tickled me. I wonder if you took the soundtrack out of this film, would it really hit in the same way? I don't think it would at all.
No, I think the music's such a big part of this.
Yeah, soundtrack's super important.
Yeah, but like I feel like it does so much in this film, but without you even really noticing. Like, it's not like your Star Wars where it's like blaring in your face. It's always like a nice sort of running undercurrent, and it works so well.
Turned into the Evil Dead.
Shut up.
Hey.
Character development.
Yeah. He's have that arc.
What's your point?
My point is, you should call your son.
What if he won't talk to me?
At least
Get
you'll
advice
know.
from an
Then you
8-year-old.
can stop worrying about it.
9.
And you won't have to be afraid.
It's like I
anymore.
appreciate this scene and everything. It's lovely
care how
and
mad
all
I
that,
was,
but
I
let's
talked
just
to
get to
my
the bit
dad.
where Joe Pesci falls
Especially around
over.
the holidays.
This isn't what I came here for.
It's pretty much 20 minutes of this now, Christian.
This is what I came here for. You know?
This is it.
Just dives headfirst into the sun.
I got him! Harry, help me get up! I got him!
It's so loud. I'm sure you can hear the mic blowing out slightly when it's screaming. There's not actually much, is there? I thought there's a little bit more. It's only about 15 minutes.
It's quite a
isn't it?
short sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Home Alone 2, there's a lot more.
No,
isn't there?
that was it. They got him. There we go.
Shut up, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Oh, oh God. He's been reunited with his family. Oh.
And it's all thanks to the advice of an 8-year-old.
Yeah. He's very pleased with himself, isn't he, the little shit?
Okay, everyone. So we've just watched the film Home Alone. We sat together and watched it. It was great. Got a little watch it together. It was very cute, guys. I really enjoyed watching it with you guys. It was really fun.
Yeah, really got us in that holiday, middle of November spirit.
Oh yeah, I feel so festive when it's not a festive time. Christian, you were the one out of all of us that hasn't seen it. It was your first time. How was it watching the film with us?
It was a nice experience being able to, watch through it with people who grew up with that film, watched it as kids, and sort of hear your takes on it, as well as sort of know my own.
But I felt it like absolutely stood up. It doesn't feel like a cheap little thrown together children's film. Everybody's really tried. Like it's really well shot, great score, and it's led by this terrific performance from Macaulay Culkin.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
Loads up the Glock. Do you enjoy it, Danny?
Yeah, of course. I will say there are aspects of it that are trash, in my opinion. I lived in quite a small house growing up, in an area that was not America. and it's like you're watching it thinking America is so cool. Look, this house is massive. Everyone's got all this money and all this kind of stuff, and it's amazing. And look at these Americans just marching through everywhere, just demanding everything, and like they don't have a care in the world. And like I want to be American so much. And like all the way through the 90s growing up, you had that kind of vibe. Like America is this amazing place of like plenty and like all this kind of cool stuff. And like looking back on that as an adult now, it's a little bit nauseating. The whole that whole idea. Like basically, Kevin's family is just full of kind of trash human beings who I think at the time would have been like everyone would have aspired to be like the McAllisters. They would have been like, yeah, the American dream. Let's make as much money as possible and have a massive family and buy all this cool stuff and have a huge house. And looking back on that sort of environment, it's just a bit weird. It's just a bit of a weird one. However, I can't really fault the film in some aspects. I mean, that last 20 minutes, it's probably the definition of timeless. I'd say it's like I reckon you could show that to someone from 200 years ago. And they'd still find it funny because it's just pure slapstick.
Don't worry, Marv, I'll get him for you.
That's what I mean. Like they sell it so well.
The facial expressions are so good.
It's that thing, isn't it? It's like because it's physical comedy. That's funny in any language, so it translates well through like places and time. I love that film. Like we've mentioned before, it's an absolute Christmas classic. I think there are some things you notice more when you're older and don't necessarily hold up so well, but they can all be forgiven easily because of how good the highs are. And it's like you mentioned a couple times, Ben, there's so many great payoffs. Like nothing seems to just come out of nowhere. All the good stuff is always like the seeds are sown early on in the film, and then they come back later.
I think you notice little bits, like there's the bit where Marv's at the bottom of the first set of stairs, like the slippery stairs, and he's sliding to get his foot in, and he just sticks his feet out either end of the frame to hold himself, and even that makes me laugh. You notice it like after the fact and stuff, little things like that. Some of the shots as well are so good. Like I love all the low framing shots of like the neighbour's boots and how like he looks really intimidating, but he's just kind of judged him by looking a bit scary and stuff. It's great showing from the kid's point of view.
Yeah, there's a lot of high angle, low angle perspective stuff in that film, which works really well to kind of bring you in to Kevin's whole feeling.
As someone who was seeing it for the first time, number one, I mentioned this throughout, but it was drastically different than I thought it was going to be. I thought that the whole thing was sort of slapstick comedy, and it has a lot of build up to that and a lot more story than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I agree with Danny. There's parts of it now that you could you know, we pointed them out and laughed at them, so you can kind of like forgive the sort of over the top American dream aspects of the film. Look at that. It's got a TV in the kitchen in the 90s.
Told you, man, they're rich.
It's like, it's not. If the dad said what job he does at the start, it doesn't really add, like, so okay, great, he's a banker. It doesn't really add anything. But by him not saying, it then adds this layer of conversation.
Yeah, and he just buys everyone in the family and extended family tickets to Paris to go with him on what I've been told is a business trip. It all seems very weird and sketchy.
It's definitely a cover-up alibi for his drug muling that he needs to do. You could maybe give the family, the whole family, a bit of an arc where maybe they gain some perspective and be like, oh, maybe we should just kind of chill out. But yeah, I think the mum maybe, but the rest of them, of them have not even almost acknowledged the events of the film. Like they're almost oblivious.
There's a scene with with John Candy where she's going back in the lorry with them and everything, and they're all talking about how terrible, terrible they are as parents. And it's like, oh, don't worry, you left your kid at home alone for several days and didn't even realise that you got on the plane. But it's all right because Johnny over here is like,
he's never seen his kids.
Not seen his kids ever. Bill can't remember his own name. It's like, oh, it's actually, you're all right. It's completely like lets her off the hook.
It's the whole thing. If people are worse than you, then you must be good. So it's fine.
It's just, I want to know the behind the scenes of why did they just chuck in John Candy for 2 scenes? Like, it was great. I think he was really, like, they obviously must have needed someone strong to just throw in to help the mum on her arc. And I guess John Candy was a mate of Chris Columbus, the director, maybe, and I don't know.
Now you're dead!
Well, guys, we've had an awesome little chat, an awesome little watch of Home Alone. But now, this is it, guys. We've come down to it, where we're going to finally decide, is Home Alone timeless or trash? I'll go first, actually. I think it is timeless. Danny, what about you?
I would have to agree with you, Ben. I think when all is said and done, it's timeless.
James?
Oh, absolutely timeless classic. You can watch this at any point in your life and you'll always get something great from it.
What about you, Christian? Your first time watching Home Alone, is it timeless or is it trash?
As someone who's watched this for the first time as an adult and has none of the nostalgia moments you guys have, I'd still say it's timeless.
There we go.
It's official. Home Alone is timeless. The viewers don't need to worry.
Big old stamp.
Yeah, big old stamp. It's official, guys. We have spoken. We're never going to change our opinion. It's going on the internet. It's done. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you like and subscribe the video. I think it's going to really help the channel out. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to stick around and hopefully watch some more and give any feedback. We'd love to hear from you all. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Thank you.
See you, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
9, 10, 11.
Look at this little rodent just going through people's stuff in a van.
Have a good trip.
Like, he could have shoved a load of stuff in his pockets now.